And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. You're tuned in to Tapped Out. Hosted by Brendan Tobin and Sean Levine. Only on the BetQL Network.
On the BetQL Network, the show is called Tapped Out. He's Brendan Tobin. I'm the sports machine, Sean Levine. If you like UFC fights and if you like betting on them, you should have got out of bed earlier today, quite frankly, because the fights are over with. Jairzinho Rozenstruik got tapped out in the first round by Jailton Almeida. Almeida came into that one as a huge favorite. Anthony Lionheart-Smith and Johnny Walker went at it. That fight went off basically at a pick'em. Johnny Walker won that fight by decision. And then it was Ian Machado Gary by knockout over Daniel Rodriguez. And there's some other fun fights on that card.
You ever watch a guy more than Lionheart-Smith where it really looks like it hurts when he fights? Like, because obviously we're watching fighting, we're watching these people be savages, and they're way tougher than all of us. But like Lionheart-Smith, when he fights, it looks like he's inflicting pain, and it looks like he takes pain a lot worse than anybody else. I'm serious about it. I think he's number one.
The only answer I can give you is maybe like Diego Sanchez towards the very end. That kind of felt like the same way, but I do understand what you're saying.
He even took like a couple low blows, and I was just like, can we just get him like some cucumber water? Can just Anthony Smith just take a break? Like, I just feel like he just needs a break.
He probably does. I mean, have you seen his record? He's been in like 70 MMA fights. It's just ridiculous. That guy's been in the game forever. Congratulations to me for having Brian Battle knockout over Gabe Green. That paid 8-1. All right, let's bring in producer Jake, because technically his Philadelphia 76ers have not been knocked out just yet. Tomorrow night, Game 7 on the road in Boston. Boston minus 6.5 on the line at BetMGM. Boston also minus a 300. Before we bring Jake in, because we know his side of things, BT, does this line look too small to you? I feel like Boston should be favored by 100. They're going to destroy them, right?
Come on. Yeah, but I'll tell you one thing. First of all, James Harden has, to my surprise, has actually gone off a couple times in this series.
Also,
and they do have the MVP. Well, that's James Harden. And they also have Joel Embiid. And I do think that whatever the hell that last game was, where Jason Tatum was like 0 for a billion, and then all decided to play basketball in the fourth quarter. Not to bring up bad memories, Jake. So I would be a little bit wary if I'm a Celtics fan. I don't think it's in their bag that they're gonna get this win tomorrow. I just know one thing.
You're crazy.
I'm gonna enjoy. I ever go into a game where like you can't lose? Like I can't lose. Whoever loses, I'm going to be laughing at them, and whoever wins, I can't wait to kick their ass in the Eastern Conference Finals. This is a delight. I've never had a less stressful sporting event that I've ever looked forward to more than this.
Okay, we'll get back to your Miami Heat here in just a second. Keep patting yourself on the ass. Let me get to Jake real quick. Jake, how does the city feel? Like, as you have a representative, I can't believe that Brendan thinks the Boston Celtics aren't going to destroy him. I thought everybody just knew that. Does Philly actually think there's a chance they win this game tomorrow as a city?
Absolutely. We think there's a chance. This is a – I mean, okay, let me preface this by saying Boston has won 4 Game 7 eliminating playoff games in my lifetime. So against the Sixers. So I'm used to this, okay? I'm used to this. But this game tomorrow night, this is – the most important game in 76ers history. This is the accumulation of Sam Hinkie's trust the process. I'm sure you've heard trust the process. This is it. Yeah, if we don't win tomorrow night, you're stupid. Harden's gone, Embiid's gone, and tomorrow's the 10-year anniversary of when Sam Hinkie was hired. So this is it, boys. This is it. I don't think Embiid's sticking along much longer, man. He deserves way better. I'm going to be honest with you.
No, but wouldn't they just? It just feels like the same thing with Steph Curry out in Golden State, where you keep that guy and then you keep building around him. I guess it's a little different with Steph because Steph's older and he's more, accomplished. He wears 4 rings in the case of Joel Embiid. Yeah. He's the best player right now in the NBA that doesn't have a championship ring. So I get it.
Certainly
it's
the best whiner in the NBA, because certainly he cried enough to finally get his MVP. Oh,
We'll get to you in a minute here. Miami. We'll get back down to Miami in a second. Let's go back out to Philly real quick with Jake. If you're going to play a James Harden prop, and the last two nights, his last two games, I should say, it's been 20.5. He just has to get to 21 points. He has doubled that already twice in this series. Then he also had a game where he only put up 8 points. He also had a game where he didn't score in the fourth quarter. If you're forced to play a James Harden prop, which way are you going?
I'll tell you right now, because I'm sure the odds are, I don't have them in front of me, you might. The odds are probably wild for like a James Harden over 30, over a 35. If you can get serious plus money on that, you got to hit it because that's a 50-50 bet tomorrow night. With all the pressure on the line.
Plus 650 that he gets to 35.
Got to play it. Got to play it because he either gets it or he doesn't. It's not like he's going to have 32, 28 points. He's going to have a huge game or he's going to have 12 points. So, yeah, plus 650. Smash that, in my opinion.
We do have the updated championship odds, and they do technically have the Philadelphia 76ers still on there, even though I think they are donezo. Right now, the Philadelphia 76ers, this is gonna pain you, BT. The 76ers, as of tonight, Saturday night, right now at 7:47 Central Time, the Philadelphia 76ers have better odds to win the championship than Miami Heat. And we don't even know if the Sixers are moving on.
Why would that pain me?
Well,
you're easy.
I'm just
Easy
saying,
money.
Can you get some respect? You got Jimmy Butler, you got the best coach, you got the best team so far, and you're still the long shot. You're still bringing up the ass. What's going on?
Can we get respect? Did you hear this week on ESPN? Jalen Rose actually had come out of his mouth that one of the reasons the Knicks lost or were losing was because it's too hot in Miami.
I heard that.
It's an indoor sport. Can we get respect? The answer is no. Do we care? No. I mean, like, honestly, dude, if there's one thing I couldn't give a rat's tail about, unless it's a rat that I'm throwing onto the Panthers' ice, it's the Philadelphia 76ers. Like, you want to talk about a team that we just, like, it's Jimmy Butler. That's their daddy. You have your best player. He doesn't want to play with James Harden. He wants to play with Jimmy Butler. He's saying we shouldn't. He said after the series last year, he said, we should have never let him go. And then his next words were, he's not Houston James Harden anymore, who was awesome, but also a choker. Now he's not as good at a choker. So I would love nothing more than to take on Philadelphia. It would be a delight because that's a gentleman's sweep all the way. Top hats and monocles to the finals.
Get out of here, you clown.
All right. Well, the favorite, by the way, to win the championship is the Boston Celtics.
I mean,
like, curious.
Hey, listen, you're sitting here all angry. You're playing with your food. You had that game in hand. You could have been here already, dude. We could have been playing on Monday, but you guys want to, dance around here and play a game 7. Meanwhile,
Philly had their
just
shot.
sitting here.
You should be thanking us, BT, because without Philadelphia and our horrible front office 4 or 5 years ago, you wouldn't have Mr. Jimmy Butler. So you're welcome.
I mean, like, I guess, but you guys got Josh Richardson out of it, so you're welcome.
Jimmy Butler's had a
Tobias
weird
Harris
NBA
over
career. For a guy that's going to end up in the Hall of Fame, honestly, I don't even know if I can name all the teams that guy's played. He was in Minnesota. He was in Philadelphia. He was in Miami. He was with the Bulls. Did I miss anybody? That's it, right? Feels like a player that everybody would just crave to have, and somehow he's ended up on 4 different teams. All right, here's your odds right now at BetMGM as far as the NBA champion goes. The Boston Celtics, after they roll tomorrow, they'll probably be even money, but right now they're plus 135 to win the title. Denver Nuggets, plus 225. The Lakers, unbelievable. I can't believe we're saying this. The Lakers right now, plus 325. And then you got the Philadelphia 76ers at 8-1 and Brendan Tobin's Miami Heat at 11-1. If you love Jimmy Butler so much, why don't you put a little bit of money on him to be MVP of the finals right now? You can get 15-1 odds right now on Jim VP to be the MVP of the NBA finals.
That's so good. Really?
Yeah, really.
I might do that, dude. I'm not going to lie. That sounds very tasty to me. I just think the thing that's funny about it is, like, they already beat the best team in the playoffs. So, like, why should the Heat be worried about either of these teams in the Eastern Conference Finals? Because Milwaukee was better than both of these teams, and they skunked them in 5 games.
Ain't lying. I mean, I feel like they're definitely confident.
The Sixers have more problems for the Heat than the Celtics. Can we at least
Like
agree
what?
on that? You think it's like Embiid? Embiid performs
The best
pretty
defensive
well
player in the
against
world.
Heat.
Does he really? Because go look what his numbers were in games 5 and 6 last year against Bam. Not great, dude. Even with his stupid
don't
broken
last year
face.
me.
Why? Why?
The broken
Because
face.
you like
just
to
said
ignore
it, the
history?
broken face.
Oh, I'm
It's
sorry.
history.
How many baskets does his face shoot? He had a mask.
It still affects your game. He wasn't prime time and
No,
man.
everything
His
affects
numbers
this
are way
game. He
up this
falls down. He's the
postseason.
biggest guy in the court, and he falls down 30 times a game.
And you get mad that he gets the 30 free throws off of it a game. That's just how he does, man. He only gets hurt like that once a year when he gets hit illegally. He didn't get hit like that. Don't do us like that next series when we play you.
I think, oddly enough, it comes down to like this game coming up, and maybe the Philadelphia 76ers' fate comes down to Tyrese Maxey. I know Embiid's the best player in the world, Rock Chalk Jayhawk. I know James Harden is thought to be, former MVP and 3-time scoring champion, blah, blah, blah. But to me, it's like if Tyrese Maxey can go out there and have another one of those 30, 35-point games, that's the separation maybe versus Boston. And then part of me just wants Philly to win, honestly, just so we have Philly and Miami for a full series. Then you guys can go back and forth with this nonsense for the next couple of weeks. Or maybe
we'll go back
that's
and
the
forth
gentleman
for 5
tweet that
games.
BT was talking about. Yep, I knew that was coming. See, I took it out of your mouth before you could do it. 8 Mile style. That's how I roll. All right. Thank you to all of our guests, or at least one of our guests that joined us today. He is Marcel Dorff. Next week, who we got, Jake? We got 2 guests lined up next week.
We're going to try to get Matty Betts in here because technically didn't work out tonight. And then also our boy, friend of the show, one of our faves, Eric Richter's coming on. New York Knicks fan, Eric Richter.
Oh,
all right.
Great. Let's bring on as many Knicks fans as possible. Bring Aljamain Sterling back too. That was great because he told me that the Heat were going to lose to the Knicks.
I know you talk smack to Aljamain Sterling. It was unbelievable.
Well,
to be fair, though,
ridiculous.
To be fair, I've won up to you before. So when I met Jorge Masvidal, he had just won the belt, the BMF belt, I should say. And I was on Kansas City radio at the time, and I was telling my co-host, I said, when I see Masvidal, I was down there at the Super Bowl when the Chiefs were down there. And I said, when I see Masvidal, I'm going to walk up to him and see if he'll fight me. I'm going to ask him to fight me. And when he says no, that makes me the BMF, right? So I walk up to Masvidal, and I say, hey, man, you want to fight me? And he looks at all 5'8.5" of me, and he goes, nah, you beat me up. So you're talking to the BMF. That's right.
Wow.
From the BMF for Jake Noecker. That's right. That's right. You didn't know you were working with him, but you have been for the last couple of years. Thank you to Enrique and Jake and Brendan Tobin and Marcel and all y'all for checking us out. We'll be back next Saturday night. Same bat time, same bat channel. That's right. You're locked into the BetQL network. Good night.